Hi guys, Maikeru here. This is the Trimming Armour Runescape podcast. This is a podcast between me, Ravlar RS, and Will Miss It. I will leave their information in the description below if you want to check out their YouTube channels as well. This video is going to be more of an introduction one to see if people enjoy this type of thing, this podcast. Most of it will be unedited and it will be just us talking with one another. In the future, we're going to get guests on and talk about specific subjects of RuneScape. If there's any other content creators that you want to see on this podcast, let me know in the comments down below. Who would you like to see coming on talking to me, Will, and Ravlar? We'll probably have 1 to 2 guests each episode. And if you guys do enjoy this podcast, remember to hit the like button before you leave, just so we can gauge on how much you like the podcasty content and whether we should do more in the future. This one was us just kind of chatting and chilling, so it didn't really have too many subjects to cover. This is just to gauge whether you guys enjoy the podcast style video or not. Obviously there are some subjects in here that we cover that are interesting, but we're not covering a specific thing.
Like these things are always a little awkward to start because you don't really know like how to like proper. The thing is that right with like podcasts and things like that is whenever people know we're gonna record, we all get ready to like press play, and then we press play and nobody really knows where to start.
Yeah, I understand.
I have that issue always, but we'll use that as an intro. Hey guys, so my name is Will Miss It. I'm a Combat 3 content creator, a YouTuber. I don't stream at all, which these guys do. Who are you people?
I'm Maikeru. I make guides and videos of all sorts, and I stream on Twitch.
How's that going for you?
It's actually gone very, very well recently, and I don't know. I never thought I'd be in this position, so I'm very, very happy. And people seem to enjoy what I do, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're doing really well at these days, aren't you? Because you've turned to be like one of the most like popular ones in RuneScape 3.
It still baffles my brain when someone says like, "Oh, you're one of the most popular," and it's like I just make videos and I just talk.
Baby.
He just has a good time, dude. He's doing what he loves.
That's the most important part about that, I think.
My name is Ravlar, aka Rav. I was gonna say ex-YouTuber, but I'm still a YouTuber. I still upload. I'm still going. I just have been very sporadic, and
You're quitting video making in between videos.
Yeah, exactly that. I've retired multiple times and come back each time. But yeah, I play the game. I'm mainly an Iron Man, and I stream sometimes, but mainly on YouTube. I would say I'm very vocal about my opinions, and that's about it.
And that's why you're here as well. Like that's what we kind of want to do with this podcast as well. For those of you who are listening, that we kind of want to at least I feel, right, that with my type of content, there's not really that much room for me to just sit down and say my opinion. And I think this is like a great platform to just talk about things that's going on in the community. And I proposed the idea to you two. You were like, yeah, that's a great idea. Let's do it. And then we're here like a few months later.
Hell yeah.
It's also good because you can get everyone's takes on it and we all can see it from different views and stuff. So instead of just being one guy being like, hey, this is good, but this is bad. It actually has more ways of speaking and multiple people and ideas.
Yeah. And the good thing is that we all have our own communities, and everyone in our communities has their own opinions, so we can gauge as to what the community are thinking. You know what I mean?
That's actually a very good point. Like, we said like we have each our community and whatever, but do we though? Pretty much just the same people, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But at the same time, I would say that the people who watch your videos are different to the people who watch my videos, who are different to the people who watch Maikeru's. But there's obviously overlap, right? But
I would say so. I think a lot of my people watches your guys' content, and your people watch your content would maybe watch mine.
Yeah.
But then again, you done the thing recently where you had like 60% old school who watch yours.
Exactly.
Rav and I make a lot of guides and stuff, right? And I don't think old school people would watch guides of RS3. They might watch the loot videos and stuff, but there is that part where me and Rav probably share more people than you do.
Yeah.
Although we all will share people, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. It kind of makes you wonder how large the RuneScape 3 video community people who engage in video and streaming content, I guess.
I'm really interested in that, dude, because like if you look at Maikeru's sub count, like I talked to him about it, like he's been growing steadily for like the last couple of years. And like I asked him, like, where do you think it will flatline? Do you think that there's like a number where, that's when it's going to slow down, just because there aren't that many people. There aren't that the population isn't that much.
Yeah. No, but that's actually kind of because how many subscribers do you have now, Mike?
I think it's like 41,000 or something.
41,000, yeah.
Yeah.
So, hang on, if we go on like the monthly high scores on RuneScape, let's see here on the last page, because that's like a nice idea to see how many people have played this month, or at least been online this month, right? Because like here we go, right? So this month or the past few days, there's been online 124,318 people.
But the thing is, it's only one day into the month.
Well, that says a lot, doesn't it?
They stated themselves in a meeting at the Parliament when they were talking about RuneScape being linked into like addictive gambling stuff with MTX. They said there was over 100,000 people logging in every day on RS3.
Yeah.
I also checked the May login statistics, and it was 311,000 people who gained XP in May.
Yeah,
Right.
that sounds good.
So that I think, yeah, it's a great estimate to go by. And when you then consider that Maikeru only has, I say only, 41k subscribers, that just shows that there's still a large untapped market of people who can actually potentially watch videos.
So that's interesting because because Maikeru started a while back, right? There must have been people who have quit along the way, and and they're still subscribed to him, and rightly so. But because the number is 100,000, let's say, how do we know that how many of them would watch YouTube? Like, do we assume that every RuneScape 3 player watches YouTube?
I was not everyone, but let's say old school then. I'm thinking, for example, with Settled, who's one of the most popular old school video makers at this point. It gets between 200,000 and 300,000 views a video with 100k people online at any time. I do think it's safe to say that quite a lot of people in each community do engage in video content.
And they mix and match. There's some people who only watch old school, some people only watch RS3, but I've had people say they've either like quit RS3 or they only really play old school now or whatever, but they still enjoy some of the videos and stuff.
Yeah.
There's like the double dipping.
Yeah.
When it comes to video content.
Bear in mind, like, some people only watch Twitch and some people only watch YouTube.
I never actually understood that. What do people different in that?
The way that I compare it is one's like if you look at YouTube stuff, it's like a TV show that is continuously running, that has like episodes and whatnot, and you have to wait for the next installment. Whereas Twitch is like there and then, and it's more of an engaging approach. So it's more like a game show or like a reality TV show where you watch it in real time and you can have your input rather than no input and just watching it like on TV. Exactly. You can be part of the Twitch scene kind of thing and part of the stream.
But like one thing which a lot of people don't realize is that when a big YouTuber like Maikeru comes over from YouTube to Twitch, they actually bring a lot of people from the YouTube platform to the Twitch platform. That doesn't only benefit them, like that benefits everyone on Twitch streaming RuneScape, because like they like Maikeru, so they'll follow Maikeru on Twitch. They like Twitch, then they'll go and expand and stuff to like see who like Maikeru is watching and stuff. So they are very linked, and it's definitely beneficial for like YouTubers to come on Twitch from RuneScape.
That's true as well, yeah.
Plus, you get to mingle your audience with a new audience. I met a lot of new people that are absolutely amazing on Twitch who didn't even really watch me on YouTube. They knew of me, but they didn't watch the videos, right? But now they come to every stream, they watch, they chill. They might not be there the whole time, obviously, but they'll be there and they'll chat and they'll have a good time, and it's great because everyone has like a good sense of humor. The community's lovely and everything. Yeah, and you just don't get that feel on YouTube though, because you get the feel that the community's lovely because they say nice things, or there's some good feedback and stuff like that. But you don't get like that banter and that fun family feel, right? Because it feels like a family on Twitch. It doesn't feel like a family on YouTube. It feels more like a fan base, rather than a tight-knit community of like a family. When your YouTube community does move to Discord, then they become more of like a closer-knit community.
Exactly. I think Discord's really important, and I really think like, if you support a content creator, you should try and be a part of their Discord.
I think so too. Discord's a great update. That was like moving on from Skype, that was a blessing.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, moving on from TeamSpeak, dude. Like TeamSpeak should have, TeamSpeak has been around for so long. Like Discord had to come over and overthrow TeamSpeak because, like, it's so good compared to it's like literally moving from like a black and white TV to full 4K HD in like one day. It was ridiculous.
I don't actually mind it though, because that was like Discord is doing so much great right now. Some things might be getting too far, like the entire like gaming platform they're trying to become.
Right.
That was a bit weird. Like I kind of happy with it as like a property of like Skype for gamers. That's fine, but I don't think they should try to challenge Steam.
Right. Okay. Is this with Discord Nitro and like the games there that they have there and stuff? Okay.
Mike knows because he's a partner channel.
Yeah.
Yay.
Did you ever get that hoodie?
Yeah, I got the hoodie.
It's so nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really nice.
I was looking for the requirements for partner on Discord, and like it's so like unreasonable on YouTube. It's like, okay, have 100K subscribers, have 100K average views on Twitch, average views on YouTube, and then on Twitch it's like just be a partner. 100 views. It's like, are you kidding me, dude? Do you know how much it takes to get 100,000 views average on YouTube? Like,
yeah, it's quite difficult. I got partnered on my Discord before those rules came into play. Luckily, I think the rules were like 10,000 at the time, so they're really they updated since then. So I'm kind of just happy to have snuck in behind the door.
Yeah, nice.
We're on the topic of like on like video makers and whatever. Gold gnomes, guys. That's being announced not too long. I kind of like the one thing I've noticed when we talk about like Discord and like the video makers and whatever is that there's just so many more live streamers in RuneScape 3 than there are video makers.
Yeah, sadly that's true.
Where did everyone go? I mean, we had so many at some point. I thought at some point there were more video makers and streamers, but I've been very wrong about that.
It's like, if you think about it, like you can, without any real video editing skill or anything, you can become a streamer if you're just consistent, right? Like,
I guess, yeah.
And you can actually earn money from streaming, as opposed to like, you not like good money, but you can definitely earn good pocket money from streaming.
Yeah.
But like to start up, you can still earn some good pocket money from just streaming regularly. Like every day, every couple of days or something. But whereas with YouTube, like there is no financial incentive to start a channel, like zero. You have to do it because you love making videos on RS3. That is like there is zero incentive. It's so hard to grow on RS3 and like actually earn like any type of like substantial income. It's actually really, really demotivating, especially since YouTube introduced the thing like you have to have 1,000 subscribers before you get partnered with YouTube, and before that you don't earn any money whatsoever. So that's my opinion on why I think Twitch is becoming more popular.
I feel like it deterred a fair few people away when they made that 1K sub cap of you can't earn anything, because I don't know, it's just a little incentive. I know when I first started, I definitely done it as a hobby on the side of my normal job. But when I got that first like £50 through, when I had like 500 subscribers, and that was like my first ever paycheck kind of thing, it felt good, right? It felt rewarding. Oh, sure, it's 50 quid. It's not like loads of money, but that's my money. I earned that through YouTube.
Yeah.
I need to work harder and I can earn more kind of thing. Now, people really just don't get that early incentive of like, hey, you're doing okay.
So it's just a big financial thing. Like people are doing this for the money.
I feel more people than not nowadays make videos and stream and stuff for money. And it's a shame because it used to be
some of the quality.
Yeah, it used to be everyone was so passionate about everything they did. I'm still passionate as hell. Like, I never expected to make this my job. I was happy doing the job I was, but obviously I was made redundant and stuff, so it just fell into place for me. But
can I ask how much you make, or is that something you want to keep private?
It really depends on the month and stuff. Some months I can make 4 figures. Some months I'll not make 4 figures. It applies on Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah.
And then combine that, it's a decent salary, I guess. But it's just one of those things where if you have a bad month, you can literally earn like half of your normal amount, and you can't really do much about it. Nothing says that your content on Twitch or whatever is bad. It's just people may not have had the money to sub or whatever, so you're just going to make less that month or whatever. Same applies to YouTube if people are busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I did a bit of
But let me put it this way: like, because Maikeru has the subscriber account, he could literally, if he wanted to, if it was purely about the money. Like, we suspect a couple of YouTubers are out there. He could literally upload the most useless videos every day, and get like 10, 15,000 views on them by just copying the wiki or just copying other content creators, and he could just put that out there every day. But like he doesn't do that because he actually cares about what he puts out there, because like it's the same for me. Like, I don't upload a video unless I feel if there is a similar video out there, I am going to make a video on it if I believe I can make it completely my own, or if I can make it 100 times better, or
exactly.
But I don't try and do that anyway. I try and look for like unique videos to entertain people, as opposed to just like grow my subscriber count and game the YouTube algorithm. And I think you two are the exact same. So it's that's if you wanted to, and I think we can bring up his name here because he doesn't make YouTube videos anymore. But Motto, I don't know if we should talk about it, but like Motto was a perfect example of just uploading YouTube videos.
Yeah, what happened there?
He done the gambling thing and sold out, and then just never came back to YouTube. But
that's awkward.
It was literally that case, though. He'd say he was going to do something, he wouldn't stick to what he said. But he'd try and just continuously upload guides that are literally a representation of the wiki guide.
I felt so bad for Munkelzunky because when Motto first turned up, Munkelzunky had quit, and like he would literally take slide from slide. And fair to him, he's a great video editor. Like, we can say whatever he wants, but he was very talented in making things appealable and presentable. But like the information was exactly the same. There was no new research done. Like he hadn't experienced any of the content that he made videos about, and he could just do that. But
wasn't Munkelzunky the guy who did like 10 minutes or something and then just said that was an hour?
that's the meme. That's the meme.
All right.
But he did try, even though he did 10 minutes. Like he would try for those 10 minutes.
He did try.
Yeah,
Munkle was good. Munkle was good. He got a little bit lazy towards the end, right? But he was always really good and stuff. But the thing is, when it comes to video making, if you're able to make fancy videos and get traction on them, the information can be misleading or incorrect if people don't know what to do. And that hurts me, because if someone doesn't do their research properly and they release a video and it's got the wrong info in it, then someone's like, oh, I can do this, or I can use this item, or this is good, when it isn't actually good. It really
and they're influencing thousands of people.
Yeah, it makes me sad.
Like, I agree. That's the thing which really hurts me about RS3 YouTube is like, it's any like, okay, like with any like basic amount of knowledge, or like how to looking up a YouTube guide, any idiot can get up a wiki page and copy that and make it a video, right? Any idiot can do that, and like that's quite frustrating for me, because like sometimes there aren't videos out there on wiki guides, and they have a market out there. But just like replicating things which have like that, it's just like there are other content creators like like us who are striving to be unique and like just making some like nice content, but it's like kind of demotivating for us when we see like these videos which are so easy to make because we know how they're done and they're getting so many views, and then they're like, okay, this person obviously doesn't care about the type of content they're making or how they're doing it. So like it's kind of demotivating in that aspect. So it's hard to like stick to your morals. But I think all of us have done that so far.
To be fair, on my first couple of videos, they weren't that original and they were a bit generic in that sense. And obviously, since I've been doing it for years and years, I've tried to make it more and more unique, and I've been doing series with like the Nubaru series and stuff where it's like I do everything myself and I showcase all these different things. But I think the one pet peeve that I have if it comes to content creation, if people want to make guides, is they make guides on things they haven't done, or a 99 guide and they're like level 70.
Yeah, that really pisses me off.
It's like, come on, man, like go experience it. Make sure you know exactly what it is by doing it yourself, then make the guide. That's the only thing that gets on my nerves sometimes, because it's like they'll make a guide for a certain boss, but they've killed it like 2 times, and it's like
kind of funny you mention it, because when I started at video making in 2010, Silent Core, right? He had this guide competition, and I was like, yeah, I'll join that. And I had just made my account at the time, so I had like level 10 construction or something like that, and I decided to make a 99 guide. Oh, good time. I did actually get a mention in the video, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. A lot of people, when they first do it, they're like, oh, I can get all the information I need online, which is kind of true. But experiencing it yourself is definitely going to give you so many little tips and quality of life things that you can include. It's going to make the video better, right?
No, I agree entirely. I don't really I feel like it takes out a lot of the charm of creating content, because to me, at least, the part of making the video is not actually the fun part. It's more of like writing it and like finding the research and then uploading it eventually.
And being creative about it, and like, you know, trying to be
exactly trying to think of something new that will actually engage people. And just copying the wiki, that's just boring. You know, it takes out the entire fun of the entire thing.
It's not so many people do that. It's like literally it's there for people.
As you notice though, like a lot of those people don't really do videos today. Like, I think that's something I realized it's like just a second ago now. But I feel like a lot of people who don't actually put passion into their videos will stop making videos a lot quicker than others.
That's true. Yeah.
And that's probably because they realize it's pretty boring to do what they're doing, and they can't be bothered to do it the proper way like you two are doing.
And
do you think that's what happened to Motto?
I feel like he lost his passion a long time before he quit, and then it just ended up where he was like, screw it, I'm going to quit kind of thing.
Yeah, it might be that simple, to be honest.
But the thing is, leading back into that question of why is there more Twitch streamers than YouTube content creators, it's probably because, one, YouTube content creators will get bored if they're doing that type of method, or if they're trying to be original, it's much harder than going onto Twitch, doing some bossing, chatting to people, having a laugh. I'm not saying doing bossing, chatting to people, having a laugh on Twitch is bad, because that's what I do. But like, it's much easier to do that than think of a whole original idea of a video, or even if it's not an original idea, even if it was like the tips and tricks I made. Ravlar's made those and stuff, right? Yeah. The tips and tricks need to be original.
Yeah.
And that's hard enough, right? Getting like 10 tips and tricks that you know people actually might need and will be useful, putting them all into one video, it can be so hard to find exactly what people might want.
You're telling me, dude, every time I've learned so much about this game making the tips and tricks series, because like because like all the videos are there, so like every time I want to make them unique, but I think I'm running out, dude. I don't think there are that many tips and tricks out there. I think we're gonna cover them all.
How do you even find those tips? Do you like just check yourself, or do you ask people?
So like first of all, like I have like a little section on my Discord which is like tips and tricks, so people can post in there. But like being an Iron Man, like I know it sounds so corny and like elitist, like I'm an Iron Man by the way. But like you discover the whole game, you know, like you literally have to do everything. So like a lot of it is from experience and from other Iron Men who tell me things, and there's lots of things I can't put on there, you know, like little bugs and stuff which are like kind of ambiguous, which people send me. I'm grateful that they send it to me just for like my own, like, you know, knowledge on the thing. But like it's it's pretty much a community effort, and a lot of Iron Men help out quite a bit. So it's really fun to do that.
It kind of surprises me sometimes how much like people know about this game, because I do the same thing. I make some like informational videos every now and then, and I kind of dig around to see what people know. And there's so much weird things that people come up with. Either it be unique information or just like small Easter eggs hidden around. So it's so weird.
It's really nice though.
It's very impressive, to be honest.
If you think about it, it's like in real life. There's some people like in this game who like only do X thing, right? So like if someone only does clue scrolls, they will know so much about clue scrolls, and like, you know, they will know all the things which they did wrong in the past, which people can use to like not make the mistakes themselves. So like, by talking to them, they can help out. They can give me a few tips, which, you know, I can put in a video, and they will help out so many other people. So it's great. Like, you know, everyone has that little passion, and like if everyone shared their information and stuff, it's really fun to watch. Like the community like grow from that.
Yeah. We kind of have this. I'm a skiller, right? So I'm combo 3, and we have the same like idea in our community, because we have those few people who run around to find out how we can complete combat quests or reach areas we're not supposed to be reaching. And I think there was this thing recently that I heard of. I've never checked it out, so I'm not entirely sure if it is true. But supposedly you were able to access the Elven lands without completing Underground Pass if you, as a combat 3, went to this one NPC made your buddy kill it. With that item, you accessed a new place where you killed a new NPC, which drops some kind of teleport thing that you had to bring to a specific area in your player-owned house and use it as something to teleport into a specific weird area. It's like, how do people find these things?
Wow.
It kind of reminds me of those like conspiracy theories in real life, where like if you do this and you put this with this and plus this over there, you will get this other entirely different thing. I don't know. It's very, very interesting.
No, that's really cool.
To find these things.
It's like the rest emote, where it's like the exhausted rest emote. You have to do all those weird things to get your run energy to 0, and then like click that feather or whatever, and then you get the cool rest emote. It's like, how do people even figure that out, man?
Yeah,
exactly. How did I find it? It's such a weird thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, but people love doing that. Like they love treating this game as a puzzle.
We were talking about the duplicate, people copying videos and things like that. I found this so annoying as well. I remember, this one other guy who copied one of my video ideas, and it's so annoying because this guy isn't like, he's an old school video maker, right? He doesn't really make too many videos anymore, but he took my video that I made for RuneScape 3 and he recreated it, right? He basically took the same thing, literally basically the same script, the same order, added one other person, and that was it. And he got a ton more views than I did. And it's and I wanted to just call it out, but I can't do that. I need to be like, nice at I'll be like, great video, haha. But no, oh my god.
It's frustrating. Like, would you talk to that person? Like, and tell them, it's kind of frustrating from my point of view that this has happened, or would you just ignore
Honestly,
it?
yeah, like, I'm not really worried about what people think of me when it gets to those kind of things. If someone does something that I think is morally wrong, I'm not worried about letting them know. But I usually won't do it in public unless I have to.
Yeah, no, it's always best to talk in private, and then if things don't go well, then maybe bring it public. But that's always best to talk first.
Sometimes you just decide I'm better than them, though, and just ignore
them. Yeah, you have to do your own thing. That's the only thing which keeps people going.
Exactly.
I know Ryan, I'm sure he won't mind me sharing. So the RS guy, he said, I told him how I felt about someone just using my ideas and literally putting something very similar out there. Yeah. And he was like, dude, I've had it happen in the past, and I just had to tell myself, I'm focusing on myself. They obviously, don't care as much as they do about their content as I do. So I just had to focus on myself, and I'm sure that's exactly what you two do. And it's kind of tough to do, but you just have to get that in mind and move on.
I feel like the RS guy is kind of like everyone's the face of RuneScape 3 content creators.
I think sometimes, but I think Maikeru is...
Well, Maikeru is doing quite well as well, but I feel like every time there's a topic being talked about, people go like, "Oh, I talked to the RS guy about it, and he said this."
So you think he has an authority on it, not in a bad way, but his opinion matters. That's what
I kind of feel. I feel like whenever something happens or something like that, he always has a say in it, and it's usually the morally right say in whatever the topic is.
Yeah, I agree.
It's always good when you have a name and you can, I guess, give your input on subjects and keep it professional at the same time. And RS Guy definitely does well on that.
Yeah. But I would say, if there's a controversial topic, it's just sometimes content creators have too much influence. I just wish they could, because they influence thousands of people, right? People look up to them, and then they'll be like, oh, he thinks this, so I should think that. So sometimes it kind of takes away. I think this is more important in old school, by the way, because of the polling system, right? Because if, say, for example, Torvesta's like, oh my god, I really hate this, etc., etc. Torvesta makes a video about something. Oh, this is so broken. Jagex, please fix this. Then it's going to get so much traction from people being influenced by his opinion. His opinion may be right, it may be wrong. Yeah, but it's kind of using the power.
It's kind of interesting you mentioned that. It kind of reminds me about the influencers, influence on the game. I think Swampletics is a great example there again, because I'm having a hiccup in my throat. I can feel it coming and I can't talk because I'm But no, because he had this I can't remember the exact details, but I think it was that he couldn't find a fishing net, or had to find his way around that. and then suddenly he finds like an unlimited spawn somewhere in the freaking world, and it just annoys
Completely out of
me.
nowhere.
Yeah, and it annoys me because obviously that means Jagex are going in for specific people to please them.
Yeah, that's so interesting, dude. Because like, they swear they didn't do it, right? Like it was nothing to do with him.
They so did it.
Like I think the whole community was convinced. Like, yeah, it was, they wanted
Sure,
to see
mate.
the
Sure,
community continue.
Nah, I just think that's kind of the wrong idea. And of course, like fishing it, it's not that big of a deal in the big picture, but it's still just a general action of doing it, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
And I think it was the
is
same
sacred.
idea. Well, he is nowadays, isn't he? And
He is sacred. Like you say one bad word against him, you will get like roasted alive and hung, drawn, and quartered. And like people love that content. And I love seeing people so passionate about it, dude. Like, that makes me really happy.
It is very cool to be passionate about things, yeah.
It's just so interesting, like, we're, like, in general, RS3 content creator, everyone in the RS3 community knows about Swampletics, Every single person would know about it and watch it and support it, but, like, it will never happen the other way around. It's a shame it's that way.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
We all know.
We noticed that especially around the Golden Gnomes or whatever as well. Whenever, like, well, at least you see it on Twitch chat, people are a bit more quiet in the actual venue. But whenever someone RuneScape 3 related gets announced, everyone in the chat goes, here.
Yeah, it was so
and that just kind of,
it
it annoys me a bit.
Pretty demotivating.
It was.
I don't really care, because, like, I kind of, at this point, I don't really view it as the same community anymore. It's two separate games having the same event in one place, made by the same company, and that's about it. It's more like a Jagex Con than a RuneFest at this point, to be honest. And that's purely because the games are very different. Sure enough, RuneScape Old School is the old school version of RuneScape 3, but it is by no means the same community, by no means the same team, by no means the same game. Yeah,
it's kind of like it's kind of sad because like RS3 wants. I think I'm generalizing massively, but there's always going to be a couple of RS3 players like, 5 pixels. How do you enjoy the game? But then like a lot of us are like, we don't necessarily badmouth Old School, but like because like we played that game, dude. Like you know what I mean? Like we all played it. Like not like necessarily the new game, like but like the 2007 escape, right? Like, so we all kind of enjoyed it back then, but like we don't badmouth it. But they haven't tried our game, so they don't try it and then they badmouth RS3. It's just like,
some have, which is fine.
Like
I'm okay with whoever like tries it out and figures it's okay, but a lot of people just jump on the hate bandwagon.
Exactly, that's the bad thing.
Yeah,
and like I think the community in general on us is very much bandwagon focused.
But either way, I do think the RuneScape 3 community is a lot more relaxed
and mature. I think they're
not necessarily mature. We do have the definitive advantage of having more broness, but. I would say that we are more relaxed than the old school community.
I would say that we have a higher average age of player. I could be wrong, but that's my kind of perception.
I think I can agree with that. Our average age is higher. But
they said average age of player on RuneScape is 22 when they went to Parliament. I don't know whether that was across both games or just RuneScape 3.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's probably both games, to be honest. Well, 22 is not very young, to be honest.
22 is about what I expected.
Yeah.
That's an average?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people are younger than 18 these days that plays RuneScape?
Oh, so rare. On RS3, they're so rare, dude. Like,
but you'll find quite a few people that are 18, quite a few people that are like 25, 26, and then that will make that 22 average.
Yeah, I guess,
I've not met a single person who's 16 in the past. Like, I met someone who's 16 who's like, like 2 years ago, but then now 18. I've not since then. It's actually quite ridiculous. Like that
I don't actually know who the youngest person would be. I have a lot of young people in my Discord. That might be someone, but I've never I don't really go checking their age. But based on that'd be weird. What's your name? How old are you?
Yeah, like most of most of the people I play with are like my age kind of thing, right? Like you don't really. Like you said, you don't really find that many younger people. There's quite a few people in my Twitch chat that are like 18 and stuff, but then there's some that are like 30. So,
because when Darkscape came around,
that was such a shame that I was closed down.
Yeah, just so many new players from like all over the world came and played.
So weird.
Yeah, like it's
I wonder
so
what the decision
weird.
behind that. Like, fair enough that it wasn't the most popular game in the world, but it had players, you know.
Yeah, if they did something like if they worked on it like they worked on Dead Man Mode, it could have been great. Like, you know, it doesn't even have to be like a few times a year. Maybe just once a year. That would have been so interesting.
Yeah,
Bring
just
back
keep it open, I
Runescape.
guess.
Yeah,
But they
I
closed
mean,
it down for the server hosting, which is a shame.
what is that? Sorry.
No, like the Jagex, it was around like when they closed down Classic and everything as well, because we're going to start selling this space in the Jagex server to publish other games.
Oh, I see.
Um,
Yeah.
And they basically closed down everything that doesn't give them a lot of revenue, like
Right.
Arcanists, the Chronicle, and all those kind of things.
But why didn't
Which is
they
a
shut down RS3?
Micro's gone full old school.
Sometimes I wonder if we are a bit biased when it gets to like our hate for old school number.
I don't have any
We
hate
bash
for
them a lot.
The thing is, right, most of the time I see RS3 bad mouthing old school would be defending our game, and I see old school all join in the bandwagon of like they haven't played since EOC release, they haven't given like, you know, the new evolution of combat, they haven't given Revo a try, Revo plus, you know, all of these cool extra features, they've never given them a try. And they hate it because of how the combat system was when it was first introduced. They haven't tested it. They all jump on that bandwagon and they're all, you know, continuing to hate it. And then we defend ourselves. Is what I normally see. Doesn't mean that it always happens, right? But that's what I feel.
Yeah.
That's such a good point, dude. Like, I was I'm planning on. Well, I have lots of videos in the works, so who knows if they'll ever be released. But one of the videos I was talking to Mike about at RuneFest was like why old school RuneScape has this opinion on RuneScape 3, right? And like the crux of the point is exactly what Maikeru just said. Like they tried it on release, and we have to be fair. On release, this game was absolute trash. Like it was horrible.
It wasn't the best, yeah.
It was like from the game that we loved, it was taken away from people, you know, like, and people were like, it was very, very upsetting to them, and then they're just left. They were like upset, like distraught that this game had ruined the game that they loved. And then in 2013, old school RuneScape came out, and then they were like, this is our savior right now. Like, this is the game that we loved, and everyone who stuck to that piece of trash is like betraying us. That's the kind of like feeling that they have. So it's interesting. I understand why they think that way. It's not logical to think that way because they've not tried it, but they were emotionally hurt when the game that we really loved without the EOC was taken away from them. So I think that's what's happened.
But it's such a weird game though. Like I feel like old school have had so much dark history as well, like with Mod Reach and Mod Jet and all those kind of like corruption things and scandals.
Yeah, it's so interesting, dude.
And it's still not over. Like there's still people in there who's like saying things they shouldn't be saying and doing things they shouldn't be doing. And it's, I don't know. I feel like the player base kind of reflects that as well, because I have this very weird private server feeling over the entire old school. It doesn't really feel like an official game mode in a way.
Right. Do you think there's some corruption or something like that?
Well, I don't know if there's corruption. I don't think like the leader management is like, "Hey, we need to corrupt this game," but I feel like a lot of the old school J mods might feel they have more loose boundaries than what they might actually have. If that makes sense.
Interesting.
Like it's the same thing with the well, you kind of see it either way. Like the fishing net with so Athletics and things like that. They kind of do things that the RuneScape 3 J mods never would have.
Spawning
and it makes things
sorry.
it makes kind of things seem a bit more unprofessional in my opinion.
Do you know?
And I don't want to.
Yeah, like I think that's very interesting because like, do you know like why that is? Well, because I think maybe because in RS3 there's so many J mods and there's like so many like administrative hurdles that they have to go through. Like in old school, there's like I don't know how many active J mods, maybe like 20, 25 working on the game. So there's not that many people to like police them. You know what I mean? Like,
I do get what you mean. In one way, I think it's good because it makes the game a lot more personal per se. Like it feels more of like a kind of like Twitch versus YouTube, I guess. You know, like a family versus a moderated thing.
I'm currently making an old school Iron Man, and I've noticed that like the chat is more active in old school. and not necessarily in a nicer way. People are just talking more, which is I don't know. I think in general that's a good thing. But
I think that also links into RS3 having more AFK stuff. So while leveling, people literally just don't even look at their screen. Like I do it on my alts all the time. They'll be on a third monitor. I can't even see the chat. So if someone did talk to me, I wouldn't really be able to reply. And yeah, I guess that kind of takes away from some of the like social aspect. But nowadays, people would rather like hop on Discord or something and speak to their friends or their clan or whatever than like talk in public chat, I feel.
Or on Twitch, you know, like...
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Understood. Yeah.
But I wonder actually why, though, like the RuneScape 3 community is very like less talkative than old school. Because old school requires more attention, I would say. I'm not sure if that automatically means more people would talk there as well, but...
Yeah, it's maybe, but the thing is, like, maybe this is just our perception. Like, we could be completely wrong. So if people are watching this podcast, like typing, "Oh, you guys know nothing what you're talking about,"
yeah, that could actually be very true.
Obviously, clan chats and friends chats and stuff are still active, but like actual, you know, global chat, public chat, like that sort of thing that isn't used that much. I feel.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of problems making friends in RuneScape. I think that might be partly because I am a bit of a solo person. I think I have a hard time getting to know people, but I don't know. Like every time I start talking to someone in a game or something like that, and they like add each other, and they want to like small talk PM or whatever, I feel it's very weird in a way. I'm not very good at that.
But do you think that's because you're well known and you're a personality?
I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm well known per se. Okay, actually that's a good point. Can I talk about that for a quick second?
Sure. Yeah.
Why did nobody know me?
What do you mean? We all know
this is gonna sound very weird. Okay. And you guys can arrest me here if I say something that you guys don't agree with, right? But obviously sometimes on Reddit and whatever, people make these like, oh, what kind of video making should I be watching kind of threads, right? Which is fun. And a lot of you guys well, not you guys, but like a lot of people start commenting YouTube, for instance, right? Or like or Sky or whatever. And maybe on the bottom you find some guy who misspelled my name, you know? that one little guy. And I never understand, because statistics-wise, I have almost 70k subscribers on the most watched RS3 channel.
Yeah.
Why do I never get recommended by people? What's going on? What am I doing wrong?
I feel like it's on the contrary. Like I see people recommend you for comedy or for like machinima like videos or skits or whatever quite often.
Yeah, and old school
next time.
and old school creators know who you are. Like the old school audience know who you are as well. So like
not necessarily though. Some of them know my name, but they don't necessarily know me per se. I know a lot of the content creators in old school knows me, but not necessarily the community per se. They still go, "Who?" Like I remember that because I won last year. I won my 6th golden gnome. All right, wow. I've been on that stage 6 times.
Oh my god!
And people still question who I am when I go on stage.
Oh dear God! 6 golden gnomes.
You didn't know that?
Can I have?
Dude, I don't know. It's 6. I thought it was 4 or 5.
Oh no, yeah, 6 golden gnomes. It's so weird.
It's incredible.
But like that means I'm currently like I'm gonna toot my own horn for a second. But there's no one in the entire game that's won more golden gnomes than I have. Yeah. And still people question who I am. And I'm not saying that people should know who I am. Yeah. But I am wondering why people don't know who I am after all the stuff that I've done in both communities. And the same thing goes for these Reddit threads. Like when people ask like who you should be watching, who you would recommend. Yeah. I hardly get mentioned. And I never understand why.
It's because you don't have enough alt accounts.
That's the one. Okay, we went there. We did go there. Okay, let's. Okay,
I'll give my opinion on why I think that is. I think that if I'm watching like a guide maker or something like that, they're like I'm listening to their every single word because I want to implement it myself. You know, like if it's different. Like people watch RuneScape YouTube for different reasons, right? Some people watch it to improve their own gameplay and like just learn new things about the game. Other people watch it to be entertained. So the people who watch it to be entertained will be like, oh, they'll be recommending you. But say for example, they're like watching, they want to like learn something about the game. They'll think, oh, like Maikeru's helped me the best with this, and the RS guys helped me with this. So that's like the help. I think people like, it's depending on exactly how you see YouTube. I really wouldn't take it personally. I just think that it's It's literally just people looking for help as opposed to entertainment. That's all.
I feel like that's true. There's a lot of people who say, like, ask the question of what guides are good, and obviously you wouldn't fall under that category, so you wouldn't be recommended in that one. But the ones where I see where it's like, what's the top RS3 YouTubers to watch and stuff, I always see you listed under like comedy or something like that, and rightfully so kind of thing.
Well, yeah, I do see myself in like the larger lists, but never really like the one-offs that usually comments you to or other familiar creators. But I guess that's a good point. I've kind of been wondering if it's because it's like kind of impersonal with my content, because a lot of people know of the content, but not necessarily of me. If that makes sense.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible. But then again, like I think YouTube is to do with consistency as well. Maybe like you would make like a really good video once every week or 2 weeks, and then there are other YouTubers who are uploading every 2 days. So they sometimes so they'll see your video, but they won't like necessarily recognize who's made it at the same time. It doesn't take away anything from your content, dude. So I wouldn't worry about it. I think
I just have to get that out at least because it's been frustrating.
This is a safe podcast. You can talk about whatever you want.
Safe space.
I enjoy just talking because it feels like I'm talking to you guys just normally. It doesn't even feel like it's a video or something. Whereas it would just be something that can, be slotted in wherever and whoever uploads it or whatever. And it's just one of those nice little things. So if people enjoy listening to it on the, bus or a journey to work or school or something.
A journey to work, sounds like this adventure. On a journey to work.
We're going on an adventure. And they just put like Ravlar and Maikeru and We'll Miss It on and just listen away.
That'd be a great start of the day, to be honest. Exactly. Listening to our pretty faces, oh my gosh.
Oh. I know, right? And they don't even get to see us, that's the trap.
That's the best part.
It means I can sit here in my pajamas.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, we'll go to there. Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later. Bye.